Hey, it's Todd Ault. This is Bitcoin Weekly. Every week we talk about Bitcoin on Tuesdays unless we're busy.
Yeah.
But we're busy right now too, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, it's May 24th. This is episode number 5 of Bitcoin Weekly. We are going to have a special guest. We're having some technical difficulties. But hey, we work around things just like we work around the price of Bitcoin, which today is $29,366, $29,400 or so.
Yep.
J Money, we're still making money mining Bitcoin here at Nile.
Interesting.
BitNile still makes money mining Bitcoin. But I saw a pretty scary list of other miners out there where maybe their cost of mining is a little higher.
Might have to make a decision to turn some machines off.
I guess they would have to decide whether they would turn them on or turn them off. When Kiana Daniel gets here, we will cover what she wrote. She wrote Cryptocurrency Investing for Dummies. We had her on a podcast. She's great. We're going to talk about that. Today, the market was ugly at one point, right? You saw the Dow really getting crushed.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of turned around. But what's happening in your mind with the Bitcoin market and the Bitcoin miners?
Well, as I look at MARA, it's the first time in a long time that their market cap is under $1 billion now. 956 million, down 9% today. $9 for Mara. Riot, $6.27. 800 million market cap. And of course, Hive Blockchain initiated the reverse split, and they are now at $3.99. Yeah, they did. What did they do? A 5-for-1.
For full disclosure, we are long a little Riot, not much, like 20,000 shares of Riot. Right, kind of in line with where we are right now, right?
Yeah.
We've got a little Riot. Mara, what was the high on Mara?
They were in the 60s.
Weren't they higher than that?
Let me take a peek. I got it right here. You
got
are correct.
smoked.
They spiked to $76.
Right.
And
so Mara's what under 10 now?
Yeah, they're $9.
Mara's $9. What's
Riot?
Do the math for me. What kind of decline is that?
Hold on, let me look at Riot too. So they went from 76 to 9. So they went down like 8 times. They've gone down what's that? $68 $67 off their high.
So what's that? Is that about a 90% decline?
Yeah, 85, 90.
Okay, so you got Mara with a 90% decline.
Let's look at Riot.
Riot's got to be more than 85, 90, right?
It went from 70 to $6.27.
What about CleanSpark? What was this high?
Ooh, CleanSpark. They were in the 20s. Let's take a look. Are they in the $5 range now?
This guy, Danny Furtudo said I should consider giving you a raise.
I like the way he's talking.
Yeah, whatever.
That's great. $5 CleanSpark.
$5 CleanSpark
Hold
from
on.
where?
Zach
think
took that baby up to... Whoa, hold on a minute. Is that right? No, let's go more recent.
Is it ugly?
It was 30. It made $31. $38
Right.
in 21.
So what kind of decline is that on a percentage basis?
95%, right?
I don't know, something close to that, right?
Yeah, it's 90. Yeah, 90 is $9. 95%.
But you could still give up some more, right?
You could, and now Hive did their reverse, right? When they did the reverse, it went from $1 and a 5-to-1. I hate this term. Just call it a reverse. I was going to drop an F-bomb. It's not share consolidation. Mm-hmm. Why do they sugarcoat it? We did reverses. They were called reverses. Anyway, it went from 1 to 5, so $1 at the closing bell, reversed to $5, and now it's been eaten away and eroded back down to $3.82. They just reversed on 5/20. Did they reverse today? They just reversed today.
Who did?
Yeah, they reversed today.
Who reversed today?
Hive.
Yeah, well, we knew that was coming, right?
Yeah, 5-to-1. So I like Hive. Do your own research. I'm not recommending any stocks. I like Frank Holmes. I like the leadership there. Got a lot of HODL in the wallets. They do Ethereum mining also. It's just the way the market is, Todd.
Kiana Daniel's on. You remember the podcast we did with her? I did with her?
I missed that one.
Oh, I didn't miss it. First of all, I don't know. Am I allowed to say that she's really pretty? I don't know. That's probably not allowed to be said anymore.
Don't get canceled, Todd.
I'm not going to say she's pretty, but she's also super smart. And she wrote a book, Cryptocurrency for Dummies. She's the CEO of Invest Diva. It empowers women. I'll tell you the reason why I liked her, really, is that I have 2 daughters. One that's at Amazon we know of. She's 23, and I have a daughter who's going to be 17. And I don't want them reliant on a man. I want them, if they chose that they wanted to have a baby and they wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I got no problem with that, but I want them to be very educated and have to be able to make a choice that they want to make, but not be forced to make choices that they where they don't have choices. And what I think Kiana represents is you can do all of those. She's a mother and she's a book author and she's a trainer. Kiana, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. I'll take that compliment. As long as you also attach it to, I know what I'm doing.
Oh, we know you know what you're doing.
Great.
But we don't have a long time today because of scheduling conflicts for me as I'm off to watch our car. We have a car on the front row of the Indy 500, the Bitcoin racing team car powered by BitNow, Renus VK. We have a car in the number 4 position, which is Ed Carpenter, the Alzheimer Neuro car. And then we have a car in the 18th position, the BitNow car, which is run by Connor Daly. So that's a shameless plug for the Indy 500 this Sunday. Kiana, what are your thoughts with what's happening with Bitcoin itself? I wondered if you have any comments on that, specifically about what's happening in the Bitcoin market.
If we're talking about the price, so it is hovering. It's just hovering at that key psychological level. It's right at like 29. This has been tested multiple times throughout 2021. And if you look at the technicals specifically, I mean, it is a double top chart pattern. It could drop lower. But if you're asking about the long term, I'm a Bitcoin believer. I'm buying the dip. And I have, in fact, set my buy limit orders at the next key psychological levels in case the support doesn't hold. So I'm aiming, I would be very happy if I could buy more Bitcoin at 22K, 17K, and 11K.
Wow. Whew. That'd be painful.
That will be harsh to watch. I know. It's like I'm going to be sweating and I'm going to be buying.
You won't be sweating as much as Michael Saylor, I'll tell you that. Wow.
Yeah, if you're Michael Saylor, well, hey, if you're Todd Ault, I guess you'll be sweating though too.
Well,
you?
hey, you know,
we only put 180 million in miners and infrastructure, and we're mining Bitcoin. What's your subscribers' reaction? Are any of them flipping out? This has been a really big pullback, really since February of 2021, where you saw kind of the top of the market, and you've seen this gradual sell-off and shift to where stocks have been getting hit, and eventually they've gotten everyone. They've gotten Amazon, they've gotten to Google, they've gotten to the Facebook, they've gotten to Snapchat, they got to all the high flyers. I mean, I think the only ones they've not gotten to are Coca-Cola.
That's the only one for sure.
What are your investors acting like?
So the people who are my students, so we have 4,000 students who have gone through our power course, and they understand. They understand why they got in. They wouldn't have got into Bitcoin if they weren't fully prepared for the volatility, because the thing that we stress the most before you get into any asset, whether it's the Amazons or the tech or real estate or cryptocurrency, is that you have to understand what is your willingness to take a risk and what is your ability to take a risk and what is your confidence in this asset. These three needs to be completely clear for the investor individually before they get in. So because our students do this due diligence before they get in, they are fine. Like sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, are you guys okay? They're like, yeah, we're good. Like, don't worry about it. Because if they didn't have the stomach for the volatility and they knew Bitcoin is going to be volatile, they wouldn't have got into it in the first place. And they would have only got into it if they knew they're going to be able to handle it. So they're fine. I get a lot of emotional comments on social media from my followers who are not my students. And I try to just educate them and let them, like, you have to go back to the basics. You have to understand why you're getting into an asset. And if you don't understand how Bitcoin works, or like Warren Buffett, who's like, Bitcoin doesn't have any value to me, like, then don't buy it. Like, I'm not forcing you. But then Ray Dalio comes into market today and is like, no, Bitcoin needs to be in your portfolio. So everybody, even the best investors, have their own opinions. So you have to be certain before you get in so that you can weather all the ups and downs.
Hey, speaking of her course, let's go to my screen real quick. When you go to my screen, you'll see investdiva.com. And I know people are taking this course. There is some free courses here, some free training, but I definitely suggest you go to investdiva.com. And this is probably the number one request that I get. I am an asset allocator. I allocate for a private company called Ault & Company. I allocate for a private hedge fund called Alt Alpha, and I allocate for a publicly traded company called BitNile Holdings. I do not give investment advice. I do not give investment training. I do not tell you when to buy or sell. In fact, I would argue with you that you and I would buy and sell for different reasons. And I buy as everyone knows, I'm a pretty overweight guy, although I've lost 60 pounds.
Have you?
Yeah, down
Damn.
60 pounds.
I was going to ask you,
But
but
that tells you how fat I was if you barely notice, right? But that, of course, that's over a long period of time. I've been on a weight loss thing for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah.
So slowly, but you can see things fit a little looser.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the point I'm making about this is that I have a healthy appetite, but I have a healthy appetite for companies, not for stocks. And I have a healthy appetite for companies when they're at a price I like the way I want to buy my groceries. I don't want to buy my groceries at the top of the market. I don't want to buy them. Well, I do buy some expensive food.
Yeah.
I do happen to like steaks that are prime, so those are more expensive. But I would encourage you to go to investdiva.com and learn. And by the way, I will tell you one thing for sure. Those males out there who are like, oh, this is for females. It's not, actually. Here's why. Because the attitude of the way a female invests is not testosterone based, right? It's logically based in terms of the best female investors out there that I know have a long-term horizon, and sometimes you want to get a different perspective. There's always that male out there telling you you got to trade, you got to know when to enter, you got to buy, you got to sell. You're this aggressive, like, look what I did, he, I made money today. But you'll find out that the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise can win the race, and a lot of times females have you ever been out golfing, by the way, and you golf with a female who is nice and steady and hits the ball right down the middle of the fairway,
right,
but doesn't try to hit it 350 yards, hits it like 170, and you're off in the weeds, you're off over here in the trap, you're trying to get out of the bunker, and you're telling stories of valor how you got onto the green while she just hit it in the middle a couple times because she wasn't trying to kill it. Do you think, Kiana, do you think that's a fair assessment of how you teach people, how you train them?
Absolutely. And the thing is, I mean, majority of women, some women do take a lot of risks. That's what we really stress on. Knowing your risk tolerance is exactly what you're talking about. But also, I would like to encourage families, like having what you said, like having a female perspective, having a different perspective definitely helps. 50% of our students are men. And we are definitely not like, if you're like the kind that you want to come and like show off your tricks, like that is not the community we have. Our community is more about like, oh, okay, what are you doing? Like actually like collaborative kind of. And what I've found very, very interesting is when men and women actually invest together because they bring their perspectives together. And like my husband and I sometimes like bounce off ideas with each other. And then I've seen a lot of our audience, like with their brother, with their nephews, with their husbands, partners, whatever. And it kind of brings a very good balance. And yeah, I mean, definitely come on over to Invest Diva. We call it our male students, we call them Divos. So we'll be happy to have you.
Hey, if you guys go, so Kiana, if you guys go and sign up for Kiana's site, Invest Diva, and register there, for the first 20 people that register with Invest Diva, I'm going to send you a book called The Bullish Case for Bitcoin. The foreword's by Michael Saylor. And all you got to do is sign up for a site, do that. The first 20 people to sign up after this show, I'm sure that, Kiana, is there some way that they can identify that came from the show?
So if you go, let's track that. So go to investdiva.com/masterclass. Investdiva.com/masterclass. Right now, I'm going to start the ticker. That's a specific link. So the first 20 people, we're going to send the information to so that they can get. That's an awesome book. Super
okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll provide that. If you do this, Kiana, my producer will coordinate with Kiana. We'll give out 20 for the first 20 people that sign up for Invest Diva /masterclass. We'll give you the forward book, The Bullish Case for Bitcoin. Kiana, on the side of Bitcoin, when you are talking to the average investor and they have, say, like a $100,000 portfolio, what are you having them allocate to Bitcoin, if any?
Depends. As I said, I cannot answer this question unless I know how old they are, what's their family situation, what is their knowledge on Bitcoin. So that's what this book they're going to send out to them is very important for them to actually read and understand. Personally, I can tell you what I personally have allocated to Bitcoin. No, like having written cryptocurrency investing for dummies, my portfolio right now is $5 million. Only $1 million of it is in crypto. The rest of it is actually other things.
Only $1 million?
20%?
Wait,
only $1 million.
What the hell are you talking? Wait. In what universe is only $1 million? Only $1 million. Wait a second.
But it's $5 million, so it's like it's a fifth.
Yeah, but $1 million in crypto is a lot of money.
It is. It is.
Wow.
And it's not all Bitcoin. Majority of it is Bitcoin, but I have other allocations as well. But it really goes back to why I'm investing in crypto and what projects
Those
really
of you,
inspire me and what's my time horizon.
those of you who know me and Jason, although I can't speak for you, Jason, you know I only buy Bitcoin.
Correct.
I did buy a little Ethereum one time.
I YOLO'd some Shiba.
Oh, you did you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but that was just you fooling around,
Yeah,
right? Not
that's
real
all.
money.
No,
right.
not real money.
But I mean, your thoughts on allocation of Bitcoin in your own portfolio?
I mean, Greg Foss says just own more than zero, right? That was his message.
I like Greg's message. Greg's
Yeah.
actually says, if you earn $1, take 5 cents and put it in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right. So if you get it really logically down to like a science and say, I'm going to have 5% of my assets in Bitcoin, it's a lot easier to stomach, right?
I think, well, I like gold and silver myself. So if the aggregate's like 20 to 25%, if you have the shiny metals and then the digital gold, I mean, that's my number.
You're saying what? Some in silver, some in gold, some in Bitcoin?
I'm saying silver, gold, Bitcoin, and the conglomerate would be like undervalued miners, junior miners for silver and gold, like AUMN, solid producers like AG, and then exposure
but you want to be in the stocks or the actual?
No, I want to be in physical too. The
Physical?
total, the aggregate. So like I'll have.
I mean, but for a person like this though, for Investiva clients, do you think they're out? I guess let's ask her, Kiana. Are you telling people to go out and buy the physical gold?
Well, personally, I don't. I don't buy gold personally because if I want to buy gold, I buy Bitcoin. Again, I'm not saying this is the right strategy because I know people are like kind of allocating different things, but I buy what I feel in long term it has more value. And to me, Bitcoin, first of all, has more value because of the supply and demand thing that we all know. And also, for me, being from Iran and understanding that the government can take control of your money, like Bitcoin for me is more than just an asset, is like also like real diversification against the governments and everybody else as well. So that's why I haven't been really diversifying with gold, but we have students who do. So we give them the information, and again, it really goes back to what you know.
Yeah,
and what
I've been actually buying physical gold. You've actually,
Yeah.
I really do see a. Okay, so let's go through this, right?
Sure.
You got Bitcoin in a wallet where the government can't get to it theoretically,
Right.
I mean, that's actually an absolute if you do the right thing. But let's just say, on an absolute basis, they can't get to it, right?
Okay.
But you can get to possession of your physical gold. But then you got bigger problems, right? Then the problems are bigger, right? So it's really not. So physical gold, like actually in possession, Jason, you're suggesting for people?
Yeah, I have physical gold, physical silver, guns and ammo. But I'm a little bit of a prepper, so
You're a little prepper, yeah.
yeah. So I, storable food. Yeah, all right, so
But there has been a time to prep a little.
I mean,
bit,
in
right?
1933, the government confiscated gold. They said you have to sell it back to us for X amount of dollars, and then they went and hoarded all the gold and then resold it for profits. I mean, I like physical. If I'm gonna buy if I'm gonna buy like exposure to silver and gold on the stock markets, I will buy PSLV. That's the Eric Sprott Silver Fund,
Right.
where they actually buy from COMEX and they actually have a vault and they actually take that silver off the market. And the same thing with gold. I'll buy like GILD or something like that. With crypto, you can make a case to look at these miners that are undervalued right now. We just looked at Riot and Mara. You'd have to research that just to look what's going on there. But then, of course, the actual Bitcoin, there comes a point where you just want to make a decision to buy the actual Bitcoin. And maybe some companies will just start buying the Bitcoin and put it on their balance sheet. So there's a threshold there where you have to decide.
Well, that's kind of what MicroStrategy's done, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Right.
but MicroStrategies, do they have a rainy day fund? I mean, they issued bonds. I mean, what do they have left in the tank to take advantage of these, what we think to be fair, undervalued prices?
Well, if you follow what Kiana says, that this thing goes down to 22,000, or Menard said, what did he say? 8,000?
Yeah, what's Sailor's average? Do we know?
I think it's in the 30s, isn't it?
Okay, it's in the 30s. So if Kiana thinks that the what were your three targets? I'm sorry.
My lowest is 11, so it's 22, 17, and 11.
Okay,
Oh,
so
God.
if
Jesus, Kiana. Holy
if
shit.
President
It's a little bit above the actual support level, but that's just because sometimes it doesn't get there. So I can see the 8,000 and I can understand why they chose 8,000, but sometimes it doesn't actually get there. So that's why I've set my buy limit order already at 11.
So that's from a technical standpoint. What we can't quantify is how big banks or institutions could be possibly driving price down so they can scoop up all the cheapies and scare retail. And, that we can't really put a price on. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, a lot of whales, stuff like that. But from a technical standpoint, if President Bukele from El Salvador and Michael Saylor don't have any bullets left in the chamber, if it goes to 11, I mean, that's $22,000 below his average. So you're going to see a lot of sharp money move in my opinion, though. If it does reach those targets, my gosh, there'll be some loading at 11K. Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God.
It'll be ridiculous.
Oh, no, people will be freaking out. I mean,
yeah.
It's funny how people love it on the way up and they want to get in line to buy it. And on the way down,
well, the dumb money.
Do you remember 3,000 when it was 2019 when it was at 3,000?
Yeah.
Like nobody was talking about Bitcoin.
Do you have that chart? Do you have that chart from Bitcoin Magazine? You're like, remember with all the lows from the years? I mean, that was staggering. You posted that chart on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, yeah. I had it on Twitter.
Give me
for sure.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll try to find that. So that's interesting.
Right. Well, that would be 11,000 would be. Well, that's getting into pretty scary territory, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean,
the difficulty for mining go down?
Well, there's huge capitulation. Yeah, of course. People be turning. Here's the thing: if you look at the global exahash rate, so just to give you guys a little bit of information, so if you go to like coinwars.com, you can look at the global hash rate. How many machines are actually turned on in the Bitcoin mining space right now? Currently on my screen, I show 202 exahash. Currently, it's very volatile. But if we look at the 1-year chart, you're going to see where there was some problems in Kazakhstan, mainland China. I mean, just 1 year ago, Todd, July 21, you had 81 exahash on board. Our business model calls for 2.24 exahash to be deployed in 2022, which based on current numbers, BitNile Inc., a subsidiary of BitNile Holdings, would have 1% of the global exahash mining Bitcoin in the beautiful state of Michigan.
That would be weird for us, wouldn't it? We'd have 1% of the global exahash rate.
Yeah.
1% of all the Bitcoin.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, I kind of like that, actually.
Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty interesting stuff here.
Kiana, I've already said it a bunch of times, investdiva.com. But, like, if you were to tell someone who just met you, where would be the best place to go? The masterclass? Where would you send them?
Yeah, I would send them to the masterclass because it's not just about crypto. It's about just investing as a whole, as a general. And it goes back down to how to create the strategies that is suitable to you. Because like we're right here, we're like 3 smart people and all of us have different investment strategies. And that's how it should be. So how to create that investment strategy that is unique to you, to your family, so that you can stomach, so that you can research and proof your portfolio and you can keep growing, keep compounding. So I would definitely go to the invest. That's our most popular. Over 200,000 people have gone through it, and it's created like.
You say 200,000 people?
Yeah. Yes. Our most popular.
Wow.
I mean,
okay, guys, if you go, you go sign up and type in InvestDiva/masterclass. The first 20 people to sign up today, we're going to give them this the bullish case for Bitcoin. We'll send it to you directly. We'll coordinate with Kiana. What I would say to you guys is that during periods of time of turmoil, where you're not an institutional investor like myself, where you're looking for there to be blood in the street, sometimes it's the best opportunity for you to remind yourself of investment rules, remind yourself of why you're here, and take your mind off the short-term noise. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, a lot of times, I go back and read a book I haven't read in a while. I'll go back and take a class again that I remind myself of why I'm here when I'm feeling down and I'm like, wow, am I doing the right thing? Go back to the fundamentals. A lot of times in football, in baseball, in almost all sports, when you're kind of off your game, you get a little lesson of reminding yourself to go back to the fundamentals. Mm-hmm. I would encourage you to go to InvestDiva/masterclass and remind yourself of the fundamentals. Remind yourself of why you're here. And glean from something that makes sense to you. I know Kiana's always available too. Kiana, can you stay with us for a few more minutes, or you got to go?
No, I can stay for another.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter is downstairs, which is good.
Real quick, her Amazon paperback, Cryptocurrency Investing for Dummies, sample size of 1,590 ratings. I mean, really close to 5 stars. So great sample size.
Kiana, come on. You know that you had 1,000 99 people you knew give it a 5-star rating, right? Just kidding.
Oh, I know all of them.
Exactly.
But actually, I'm actually writing the second edition of that as we're talking. So this became a bestseller. This went up, but because it came out in 2019, so a lot of the charts were a little bit outdated.
Yeah.
So we're adding the new things. We're adding NFTs. But yeah, we're looking to that to get published and the second edition. And
Can you pull up my Twitter account and go to the where I texted out the free Bitcoin real quick? Did you see that right there?
There it is.
Let's go to the screen real quickly. Now, we were on NBC last weekend for qualifying for the Indy 500, and we rolled out the new Bitcoin racing team, and that free Bitcoin, hundreds and hundreds of people have signed up for an Earnity account, and you can go to Earnity.com and earn free Bitcoin. Just do me a favor, take a screenshot of that, and you open an account, and you get free Bitcoin. And obviously, just for full disclosure, BitNile Holdings, through BitNile Inc., is a 19.9% holder of that private company, Earnity.com, who will be on the car at the Indy 500, actually on 2 cars. It'll be on the BitNile car and the Bitcoin car powered by BitNile. You guys got to check out the race this Sunday on NBC. Obviously, we'll be covering more of that. We're going to have the team live. I fly out tomorrow, and the rest of the team joins me on Thursday. You want to cover anything more about Bitcoin before we go? The market, anything like that?
Well, I just remind people that, like, when capitulation occurs and fear sets in, I mean, that's how you're supposed to be able to take advantage of the opportunities rather than buy high and sell low. I mean, a lot of people just don't take contrarian approaches either. So you probably speak to some contrarian approaches in your trading plans, right?
Yes, I actually call recessions and market crashes as pregnancies, because obviously I talk to a female audience, but that is what it is. If you can go through the morning sickness and back pain and the discomfort, that is when you plant the seed. Recessions, in fact, make the most millionaires. So this is your time to shine. This is the time. That is how the Rockefellers, the Carnegies became millionaires. They did the thing during the recession. And I'm not talking about only just buying, but even if you're considering like starting a business, all these things, this is the time. This is your time to shine. This is where the wealth gets transferred from the rich to the poor. I personally started back in 2008 market crash. So I absolutely attribute it to that. But you just want to know, be educated and look at the long term and plant the seed.
You know, in today's day and age with instant gratification, where people were spoiled if they were able to land on AMC or GameStop at that time, people have, a false sense of, profits taking within the short period of time. I mean, that just doesn't go as planned. You can't always hit home runs. You should be able to get on base, grind out a walk, get a base hit, beat out a ground ball, get some runners on base, and then you'll have you have an opportunity to take advantage of those runners and then score some runs. So you can't always hit like home runs, Todd. It's just
no. I would say to you, I was uncomfortable this morning for the first time watching the portfolio today. Mm-hmm. I was uncomfortable. I was like, okay, these prices are getting cheap, and I plugged my nose and I bought the NASDAQ down 11.
Sure.
Triple Qs, right?
Yeah.
I bought some Riot getting smoked, hit pretty hard. I bought some MicroStrategies lower.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to comment on Nile, but I'm out of the quiet period, so obviously no comments on Nile.
I mean,
but there are some obliterations of stocks that have been annihilated.
How do you feel about
just annihilated?
Let me show you Target, TGT.
Target?
I mean, let me see if I can pull this up. My computer's like acting up. Here it is right here. So Target had earnings. They didn't miss that poorly. Guidance is bad.
Oh, my God.
If you look at the 1 month chart, I mean, disposable income in America is being eroded because of all the costs associated
Target's
with.
gotten smoked.
I mean, look at my screen, Nick. There's the 1 month on Target.
Wow.
I mean, a quick hit last week from 210 to call it 145 now. Mm-hmm. I mean, Walmart, even Costco got like touched up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I remind you, if you
but that's healthy.
It is.
If you're getting to every name, this is a trader's mentality. This is a bear market mentality. This is a market timer's mentality. When you eventually get to every name, a bear market. So let's cover why this happens, okay? And Kiana knows this. This isn't new for the people who have been around Wall Street for a while. But usually you hide out in names that you can be trusted, right? You go, okay, there's like a flight to quality.
Safe havens.
Safe havens.
Yeah.
And when they get to those safe havens, you know the market's puking up. And that means because guys like me and others that are in safe havens go, hey, I need liquidity. I want to buy other things. So you sell off your safe haven stocks because the ones that have got crushed are just represent a better value than safe haven, right? I mean, for me, I liquidated some names that were really big winners for us to go buy big losers out there that have gotten their head cut off, right?
And you even liquidated a big name, like a couple big names, like Boeing, for example. You want to talk about that?
I am still. By the way, just for fair disclosure, I bought Boeing today.
Okay.
I've been adding to Boeing, but I was liquidating Boeing in the 200s range, right? 207, 210. And thinking to myself, oh, God, am I going to regret this? But I just knew we needed cash. And if there was a global slowdown, they were going to get to Boeing. And by the way, Boeing was like 118 today.
Here's the chart. Take a peek.
Dude, I sold Boeing in the 200s.
Yeah, right up here.
And they've gotten to everything, right?
They have. So
they've gotten to everything.
I mean, there's a point where you sell, you're like, oh, I could sell this. It's going to be a
even
wash sale.
AG, dude.
Yeah, AG.
We had AG higher.
Yep.
And AG went lower.
First Majestic Silver.
They got to everything.
I know.
And now, for full disclosure, we're long AG, First Domestic Silver.
Yeah.
Which is actually, ironically, a gold producer.
Kiana, can you comment on this? Here's a topic that you could probably speak to. Zoom out. Let's look at this chart, Nick. Bitcoin's yearly lows. Can you go to my screen if you don't mind? Thank you very much.
Are you looking at Bitcoin or Boeing now?
I'm looking at Bitcoin Magazine. It'll be on the. It's So they put a yearly low forecast.
I don't know
here.
if she can see this. Can you see that on our screen?
I can. I'm looking at my own chart.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. She might be able to see it. 1 second. So starting in 2012, the yearly lows of Bitcoin. Can you see them now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
So, zoom out. Take a snapshot of a larger view to put things in perspective. 2021's low on Bitcoin was 28,700.
Right.
So here we are now, 29.3. But look at some of the.
But there is an exponential jump point. Look at this. Look at
big.
this. From 17 to 20, these yearly lows, 32, 34, 38. Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be right. We could be in for some more pain.
I think so.
Yeah. We could be seeing Bitcoin below the lows of 2021.
It could be the biggest flush of all time because there's so much adoption now. You know what I mean? Just the footprint.
It would be a flush out, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be massive. Capitulation.
But it would also say, I would think that it's gonna like touch and it's gonna jump back up. I wouldn't see it. I don't know. That's why I'm like setting buy orders instead of like waiting for it because I'm like, this is gonna happen at midnight, like while I'm asleep.
Yeah, well, you're gonna scale in, is what they say. She's got plenty of dry powder waiting for those opportunities. I remind people that having some cash on the sidelines is not always a bad thing. I mean, sure, you can deploy capital into some hedges like I do and quote unquote safe havens where gold and silver have held up pretty well. But if you don't have money to deploy to take advantage of that alpha, that large upside, then you're not doing yourself any favors. It's kind of a disservice to yourself. So just remember, dry powder is not a bad thing. Cash on the sidelines.
Right, and also like what I tell my students, if like increase your income. Go get a side hustle, like right now, like go start a business, like do something to have to increase your cash flow because not always you have the luxury of having those safe havens, which I actually don't, and that's the reason now because I do have a business. Like my business is my cash flow. My books do pay me, so I always have this cash flow coming in. So that's why I can anticipate being able to purchase at lows. So do something, but yeah, definitely have cash.
So are you saying InvestDiva encourages you to have more than one income stream?
Oh yeah, I encourage. I help my students build a wealth ecosystem. So I know the name is actually InvestDiva, but then we get deeper. We actually help people build businesses. We actually are changing our brand name to Wealth Diva because like, oh my gosh, I'm helping people like increase their income, and that's literally what I do as well. It's not just investing. I just want to be clear here because people are like, oh my gosh, how did you go from 0 to 5 million? What did you trade? I'm like, it wasn't just trading. I actually increased my income. I actually make money.
Yeah.
And then I put it in the investment.
Todd, it's not a bad thing to cut costs either.
So you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, for sure.
The new name is Wealth Diva.
Yep.
Check out investdiva.com. Kiana Daniel, thanks for being with us. She's now the Wealth Diva, and she obviously encourages you to have more than one stream of income. And I guess she said we may see a low of 11,000 on crypto on Bitcoin.
All right, you heard it here.
Yeah, you heard it here.
Let's have her back.
Let's hope she's dead wrong.
We need to have her back.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
That's
Exactly.
like the lowest.
I don't know what would happen for me. I mean, we have a low mining cost, so I guess we'd probably still be mining.
Yeah.
But I can envision a lot of people would not be mining down there.
Yeah, that's very true. The global hash rate would be reduced dramatically, in my
Right.
opinion, for sure.
But it'd be a big dollar cost average for us, right?
Yeah, we'd be scooping blocks. I mean, we'd be accumulating.
I mean, just want to be
Difficulty-
clear for me, we're pot committed to mining. We'll go over that cliff together. We're going to mine Bitcoin until they tell us you can't mine Bitcoin anymore. When they tell us that Bitcoin mining is shut down globally, you're not allowed to mine Bitcoin, then we'll consider not mining Bitcoin. But until then,
Yeah.
we mine Bitcoin 24/7, 365 from Michigan. My name's Todd Ault. This is Jason Bartholomew. Appreciate you being on Bitcoin Weekly. Kiana Daniel, one of our favorites and the prettiest of all of them, and the smartest. She's definitely smarter than me. She's been able to manage to get 200,000 people to pay attention to her class. If 200,000 people have taken her class, she's got to be onto something. Check out that and get that free book if you sign up for InvestDiva/masterclass. Kiana Daniel. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Risk on. We'll see you. I think we'll see you. I don't know if we're going to see you tomorrow. I'm on a flight.
Yeah.
We'll let you know tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing. We have a very abbreviated schedule, but we will be coming live from the
Friday.
Indy 500 Friday.
Yeah.
We will be doing a live Risk On show. I can't think of anything more Risk On than driving a race car. Connor Daniel into the corner, trap speed, world record, 243.78 miles an hour into the third corner.
Turning left. Turning
left. Hey, turning left while you're turning left, by the way.
Crazy.
Everybody take care. Risk On, everybody. Be well.